All right. Welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is St. Kramer with Brian the Grizzly. What is up?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. We got to check out the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Knock at the Cabin. It's an M. Night movie.
Shyamalan.
Yeah, it's an M. Night movie, so you already kind of have certain expectations for it. You know, his last bunch of movies have not hit.
He's pissed off the masses for years.
Yeah, he upset a whole franchise fan base, but he has done great things. Sixth Sense. I think Signs is good enough. I like Signs.
I like Signs. Yeah, I'm
Unbreakable.
A big Signs guy. Yep.
Unbreakable before he started making all those crazy. Well, even Split was good too. I thought
Split
was good.
Was great. It's almost like it was great despite him. Unbreakable, all that was great despite him.
Yeah. So he's done things. Knock at the Cabin is the new one. You have a quick synopsis by any chance?
I am actually pulling it up right now. All right.
So
ready?
Huh?
All right, here we go. A young girl named Wynn and her two fathers go on a vacation in a remote cabin in the forest. They have fun swimming in the lake, and while her father is relaxing on the deck, Wynn collects is classified insects. Was it grasshoppers?
Yeah,
suddenly she notices a strange man walking through the woods towards the cabin. The man is named Leonard. Introduces himself to Wynn. He's soon joined by three others. Wynn and her fathers barricade themselves inside the house when the four armed strangers break in. Leonard tells them that they're here to prevent the apocalypse, and to do that, they have to ask that the family make a terrible decision. With limited access to the outside world, the family must decide what they can believe before all is lost. Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, that's a good synopsis. Yeah,
that's actually the movie.
yeah. Because that's pretty much the first 15 minutes of the movie. They break in to do all that stuff, and then they have to, choose. But the whole time that they have to choose is like, one of the guys, I forgot their names. One of the guys is obviously like, you're lying, you guys are crazy, whatever. And then the other one is kind of believing it, not at first, but eventually.
No, but you see that, he saw something in the first, the first execution or killing, I guess. He saw something. You noticed that he saw something, but he also knew that he had concussion.
Yeah.
So that was kind of playing against him.
Yeah. So is it real? Is it not real? Like, there's that whole situation kind of going on. But
it was Eric and Andrew. Eric is the one who had the concussion, and Andrew is the other one, the other father.
Yeah. And I like certain parts of this because that's real quick.
I liked all of them. Like I love the character of Adrian and Sabrina. And then when I see like, hey, there's Ron,
Yeah.
Rupert Grint is playing Redmond. I thought the casting was fine. Batista as Leonard was kind of awesome. And he was almost scary because he's so big, but he was so gentle that it was believable. Like his story about him being a teacher was totally, a second grade teacher was totally believable. And then even when Wynn was screaming and stuff like that, you can see the teacher come out in him. And that was probably the scariest part of the entire thing, was that these were real people. And as much as you thought that you're gonna dig into their story and see something wrong, they were telling you the truth.
Yeah. I mean, the whole time I'm like, oh, they're gonna be from the future. They're gonna be aliens, something crazy, because that's what you expect from M. Night, right? But they're just regular people that had visions. So I was like, oh, okay, but they all have the same vision.
I was waiting for the trees to be the actual villain. They're happening.
Well, I'll get into some of the crazy things I thought were going to happen at the end. towards a little later.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, like you said, the casting was great. A good premise, enough where I was interested to know what was going on. Fucking Ron Weasley, like, you know, like just being an asshole. I was like, oh, you suck in every movie, huh? Like, you're just an asshole in every movie.
He does it so well.
Right. But just after that first killing was like, oh, okay. You know, I didn't know that's where it was gonna go. You know, like, and then well, obviously after that first one, I was like, oh shit, then you know, there's this person, this, you know, I'm like, okay, like, wow.
Now you understand why they're looking at their clocks and they're looking at their watches, and this is going to be a crazy movie. All right, this is not what I thought I was going to get into.
Yeah, because the whole time it's like, are they real? Or are they fake? You know, and stuff like that. Like Eric, you know, keeps believing like they're it's all planned. Every time they turn on the TV and there's a play, is it Eric or
it's Andrew? Andrew keeps on believing that this is all. Yeah. But I think what was going on with Andrew was that he actually believed them, and that's why he fought so hard against them. He really believed what was going on. Like, man, this makes sense. So he just kept on fighting because, you know, he just wanted to keep his family together. He doesn't want to believe that he has to make this choice. But he believed them before Eric really believed them.
Interesting. I could see that. I didn't think that though. I just thought like because it's a good movie where everything happens basically in the cabin, and then it cuts to different scenes outside the cabin. Very Reservoir Dogs esque. It reminded me of, you know, where the actual main story is happening here, and then cut flashback. And I liked that the flashbacks weren't long. Like I was like, okay, they're quick, couple minutes, you know, nothing too crazy. It gets right to the point, which is good. But he had issues, you know, before in like a bar fight or something like that. Yep. So it was like he already has like a very defensive personality now. Plus, he already kind of has a little temper issue. You know,
I mean, and you understood his temper. He wasn't terrible, but his temper wasn't terrible. It was more like, it was totally understandable. He was more protective. He just couldn't protect very well.
Yeah. But like one thing was, you know, so it's a gay couple with an adopted daughter, and Andrew right off the bat was like, "Oh, you're doing this because we're gay," you know, and then they're like, "Whoa, no, like we had no idea."
No,
you know,
we're not trying to kill you because we're not trying to kill you because you're gay. We just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, bro.
You know, but they also made it seem like they didn't know. Well, even Batista said, or Leonard said, like we didn't know who was going to be here. We just know there was going to be people, you know, and stuff. So because he's like, he said something like, he goes, "Oh, we didn't know there's going to be a same sex, you know, couple, you know." So it was like
they had certain visions that they knew that they knew there was going to be a little girl, probably. They knew that, but they had no idea who the family was going to be. They didn't know anything about anything else, and that was kind of weird. What did you like about this film? Really, like I mean,
I did like the premise. Like that, like they have to sacrifice one of themselves to save the world, and if they don't, every time they say no, a bunch of people are going to die in the world, you know. And then they showed it. They showed the giant wall of the water,
that tsunami.
You know,
that tsunami,
like taking out Hawaii. You know, like the planes falling out of the sky. The deadly flu.
What the hell?
Yeah, you know. So I thought it was a really good premise, you know, but the whole time in the back of my head, I'm like, it's an M. Night movie. How's it going to end? Because the ending is going to be where it's at with this thing. Because M. Night makes amazing movies. Great first and second act. Great. You know,
he never can stick the landing. He always trips and falls at the landing. Like, oh, hit him in the face.
Yeah. You know, like he literally needs to write a movie and then give it to somebody else, and that person just like, oh, okay,
all right,
this is the third act, and we'll rip this out, and I'm gonna finish it. But yeah, like I thought it was a very cool premise, because they kind of started getting into like religious stuff, but not really too religious stuff. You know, it was teetering out a bunch of different like ideologies and stuff like that, which I thought was cool. But you know, and the acting was good. Batista was a star of the show.
He was
He was
very
starstruck.
awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, I liked all of them. Like, so, I think Adrian, when he's like, I didn't believe 1 second she had a son. I believe 100% that she had a son. Her
Uh,
story made perfect sense.
yeah.
Sabrina, when she's talking about being a nurse, the way she was doing all the stuff, taking care of all the wounds and everything, made 100% sense. I mean, we didn't see Rupert Grint and long enough there was Redmond long enough to even have a real connection with him. But I thought Andrew made sense. I thought Eric made sense. And Wynn, oh my gosh, she's such a sweet little girl. And then she had a cleft lip. Oh my god, that was just
Yeah.
had me. You know,
She was good.
anytime you see those type of things with me with a little kids, and I'm like, oh yeah, you got me. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
she
off.
was a great little actress. She was good. She was good. Especially like I think um such a little kid being next to like the monster of a person that Batista is. Especially him with his little nerdy glasses and a little button down shirt. It was like I'm like, yeah, you can hide that you're like a giant dude. You know? But that whole beginning scene I thought was really cool. With them in the forest talking about the grasshoppers and stuff like that. So, you know, one thing I was like, I was always waiting for something really, really bad to happen, and it never happened. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like when freaks out and she starts screaming, I think it was a distraction, so I think she did it on purpose.
Because he said, "You do the thing that you did at Thanksgiving. Do that.
Yeah,
Why give me a nod? You do that."
That's right. So, but Leonard being the teacher, he was walking up like, all right, let's count to 5, let's do this. I'm like, he's gonna fucking like this whack the shit out of her, but he's not, because that's not who he is.
Yep.
He's a legit good guy, and he's like trying to calm her down, trying to be the good guy, and like, listen, I was like, I feel like I always get jaded with a lot of things, but like, I mean, he was a good guy, trying to save the world, but making people kill themselves. So I don't know. What about you, man? What about some good stuff?
Dude, the good stuff. It's definitely the acting, the casting, all that stuff was great. I said I love Win. I love their connection. I love the family feel. I love when they saw her for the first time. Like, that brought back some memories. I was like, yeah, the first time you see your baby, the love that you have is like, yeah, until this very moment, I didn't even know what love was. I now know what love is. And that's what I saw there. I thought that was amazing. Just the ideas of the apocalypse was great. The premise was great. The opening scene was great. And then we get to the killing, and that's why I was like, all right, these suicides, not so much for me.
Yeah, they were aggressive, man. They didn't really show them. Not in camera. It was either right off to the side or in the background, fuzzy. So it wasn't like a front and center kind of thing. But you knew it happened, and you knew what happened. And damn,
I was like, why is Rupert Grint so excited to hurry get this started? It was like, you're the first one.
Yeah, I know, right?
Why are you rushing, bro?
Right. He was also mad the entire time. So that might be why he was mad the whole time. It was like, no, it was inevitable.
I'm first. So why are you rushing? How about we take our time? We can figure out some things. Let's start talking to these people out of it. Like,
yeah, right. But what about some bad stuff? What didn't you like?
I didn't like the suicides. I didn't like, but I liked the way they dealt with them. I thought the way Leonard dealt with it was cool. I thought them not giving access to seeing TV all the time actually did them disservice.
Yeah.
It should have had a TV on the entire time, so they know I'm not playing this. You already cut the phone, so I don't know how much you have planned on this. But if they did that from the beginning and show this is something that's happening, then you probably wouldn't have had as much. You had more buy-in. I didn't like the fact that the 4 horsemen had to kill themselves. Instead of before they understood what's going on. I didn't understand, like, what was the point of them what was the point of their sacrifice? I didn't understand why they had it. What would have changed since everything happened still? What would have changed if they didn't kill themselves?
Well, they were the I liked that though. I like that they were the four horsemen of the apocalypse, but not in the way like the biblical way, where like riding horses and and causing all this chaos.
I love the
but they
I love
were.
the idea, but my question is, why did they have to kill themselves?
I think it's like a sacrifice almost, like a legit like sacrifice. So it was like
what happened when you sacrifice? That's what I didn't understand. What happened different when you sacrifice yourself? Like, would the world been more of a plague, or were they really, or they killed each other when they killed that person? Did that release that plague? You understand what I'm saying?
That's what I thought.
So they were releasing the plague. It was almost, why did you have to kill you? You could have made the decision to not release that plague.
See, that's where like the whole like religious kind of stuff, where like having faith, and stuff like that, because like it seemed like they were kind of told to do it because of their visions, so like they had to do this, they had to do that. Especially Batista was very like strict on it, like I don't know if he saw it more than the rest, but everyone else had very vivid things about it. But I don't know, I just took it as like they knew that they had to do this because them dying would help the Eric and Andrew realize that they need to make a choice, because like, listen, like you all need to make a sacrifice. It's like, oh well, we're not gonna sacrifice. Well, then I gotta sacrifice myself because you can't sacrifice, So it's like
I feel like something good should happen. Like I sacrifice myself to slow this down. There wasn't anything like that. Like it was like
no, it was the opposite. Yeah, like, their death's cause was like
the next thing. So it's like, why am I sacrificing anything? Why about you just don't kill yourself and we all be okay? It's almost like you released the plague. So why do I have to sacrifice myself because of your choices and you killing yourself?
Yeah. I mean, there's that, but I took it as like more like the like whatever belief you have, or whatever higher power was telling you that this needed to get done. You know what I mean? Because like imagine if like I'm not too religious and stuff like that, but if like you have a vision where God told you like, hey, they need to make a choice, but if they don't make a choice, I need you to kill yourself.
I'd be like, cool, what? all right, I got you, but for what reason? Like, what is the reason? Like,
that's the whole point of faith, right? It's like, listen, man, no. You don't need to know why. You do what I tell you to do because that's what faith is. Yeah, man. It's like, I mean, there's a bunch of stories like that in the Bible too.
It's funny because if I was telling my wife, I was like, if it was going to be me and her and my daughters there, I would have easily sacrificed myself. Just to think about, just even think about that these four guys will leave if I sacrifice myself. Done.
Yeah.
Question. My wife was like, "Oh hell no, you ain't doing nothing." I'm like, "Yeah, I would immediately. I would do it just for that."
Yeah. But then, then it runs into the issue is like, are they telling the truth and will they leave? You know what I mean? Like, so you have to like again faith. They're saying, "Listen, you do this and we're gone. Everything's cool. Like, the world's gonna be gone, save and."
After the first two people, I'd be like, "Yeah, all right."
Yeah. Even after the first one, I was like, "Oh fuck." Well, yeah.
Well, it was Ron Weasley. I've been like, he might just have it coming. He
kind of deserved it.
Yeah, I don't know. But when Adrian, I was like, man, this is tough. Okay, you have a kid and you doing all this. Okay, that meant to. Why didn't she just bring a picture of the kid? Like, why? Who walks out without that? But Leonard had his picture of his class. It wasn't like that was against the rules. Yeah. That wasn't against the rules.
Yeah.
So
but I like that because at the very end, I think now we'll get into spoilers, and Eric and Andrew have that conversation, and Eric tells them like they were the four horsemen, but they weren't here to like do the biblical sense of like spreading all the stuff that they do in the Bible and stuff. It was more like they were here to remind us of humanity, and we watch these people kill themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like you're losing humanity because of these people, and then every time you lost a little bit of your humanity, the bigger humanity, like took a hit. So it was like it was that I thought that was all interesting. That was all good. I was like I liked it. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but I'm like it kept me entertained and thinking, stuff like that.
Then
But I
what
was like,
didn't you like about it then?
the ending. The ending was so flat. Like it just happened, and then that was it.
After the apocalypse, what was going to happen? Like, what?
So here's my thing. I thought, because at one point towards the end, Eric and Andrew are talking, and Eric tells him about this and that, and Andrew was like, "Well, why us? We're nothing special." And I'm like, oh, I thought Wen was gonna be like the second coming, or she was gonna be God, or she was gonna be the entity.
Yeah, but that's too religious for M. Night Shyamalan.
But not only, well, yeah, I know, but not only it doesn't have to be like, well, I don't know. I mean, he gets into some religious stuff, but I mean, I think she could have been like the entity of like we need to test people. I don't know. I mean, there's things you can get into. I thought it was going to be a bigger picture, or the cabin was going to be like, that was that
purgatory.
Purgatory. I thought the cabin itself was purgatory.
I thought something. That's cool. What I thought. I thought that the cabin itself was purgatory. It was the one safe zone, and someone had to choose something to stop everything. Like, only in this one place, this is the only cabin, and that the cabin was sent to them on purpose. Like, it was, they did choose them for a reason.
Yeah,
and we never got that. So I agree with that.
So I was expecting a bigger ending, because they really hype it up with like how important making a decision was, and all this other stuff, that the world is gonna be destroyed and all that, and then it just kind of does it done. I don't know.
I guess they're going to live the rest of their life. I mean, it could be more to it, but they're going to live the rest of their life. And we kind of saw in the future that, she's going to find a guy. She's going to be able to go live her life. And, isn't that every parent's real dream? I think that will less about the world. Cause honestly, everyone dying in the world, that wouldn't have got me. It's just the idea that I had to save my kids and give them the life that they deserve. And I know that's very selfish, very American of me, but that's what would have got me. That would have got me.
Yeah. And I think that's what it would wind up being, because I think Andrew was ready to like, we'll walk the earth by ourselves, just three of us. And Eric's like, what? Like, that's not a life for her. For them, like, we got each other. We lived a pretty okay life, but for her, she's a kid, like, that's not a life for her. And then when we're gone and she's by herself, then what? Then
you also got to live with the all that on your chest, on your
all that guilt,
on your conscience, all the time. So that would have been hard too.
Yeah. So it's just the one time I want M. Night to go all stupid crazy at the end, he does it. You know what I mean? And then all the other times where
as I said, the happening was just the trees.
Happening. Yeah.
At the end, it was just the trees. The trees got mad, so planet Earth came after you.
Yeah. But even like what's the other one? Not The Forest, with Joaquin Phoenix.
The Village.
Yeah, sure. The Village. Yeah, really? The Village. Like that got like a little too. That went too crazy. I was like, I felt like it could have been
my least favorite movie ever made.
But it was a great first act, second act, and the third act was just like, what? Like, what are you doing?
No, I literally wanted to pick up my chair and throw it at the screen. I hated that movie.
Yeah. But the first act and second act was a good scary movie. That third act just got stupid. But same thing with this. It didn't get stupid, but I felt like he didn't risk anything. Like, it was just like I'm sure there's a whole message of like it being like, oh, that's just fragility of being a human. It's like, well, that's the whole point. You make a decision and life still goes on. Like, I mean, maybe that's what he's trying to say. I don't know, but I wanted something big. I wanted like a fucking angel come from the sky, or the devil come from the ground. Like, I mean, we already got lightning shooting from the sky all crazy. It was like, I wanted something biblical, and we didn't get any of that. it got so close. Talking about the 4 horsemen and the apocalypse
and Revelations, and
Revelations.
They were reading the verses of Revelations and explaining exactly what's going on, and the night shall,
Yeah,
come
it got so close to having a really epic ending, and then it just when it got up there and then blah, and then it's flatlined.
That is what they promised. He said, like, if you do this, everything will stop. And that's exactly what happened. They did it, and everything stopped.
Yeah. I know I talked a lot because I was like the whole time I'm like, what? It's so aggravating. That's what his movies does to me though, man. His movies aggravate me sometimes because it's like,
is that good or bad? So I don't know. Like,
because a lot of times he's so close to having great movies, and then like stupid endings.
I feel like he thinks he's smarter than everybody, and that's what always ruins everything.
And he puts himself in everything. He's obviously in this one as well right at the end. But it was like, I'm like, he's such a great writer and actor for 2/3 of the movie.
He should literally be the guy who comes up with ideas for movies and then passes them off. Like, he should be the idea man. Like, everyone goes to one guy I want an idea for a movie. Here's one for this one for you. Here's one for you, and let everyone else finish it. Find a closer to come and close all these other movies out.
Yeah, but so any bad things for you? I mean, I talked a lot, but
no, I mean, I think we talked about all the bad things basically for me, but I want to rate this movie. I really do want to rate this movie because I think it's I'm interested to see what you got to say, honestly.
Yeah. So you want me to go first then?
Yeah, definitely. So at the Spoiler Kings here, guys, we rate our movies a little bit different than everybody else. We have a now, but it means you need to drop everything what you're going to do. You need to go watch this movie immediately. Stop everything. Don't want to bring your kids. Do whatever you got to do. Watch it now. Later is more like, this is a streaming service, that type of thing. You can watch it whenever you get a chance. You can watch it while doing the dishes or folding laundry. That's a later. Or never is, you should never, ever, 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 don't turn on your TV with the intentions of putting it on your TV at all. If you do that, you should blow your TV up. That's what never means. So that being said, Tank, where do you rate this movie?
It's for sure not a now. It's not a now. It is too aggravating and frustrating, I think, for me. So I was kind of like, I'm like, is it a later or is it a never? I can't put it as a never because it does make you think about things, life, afterlife, the importance of stuff to you compared to the whole. It's that whole what's that question that people ask, like, do you save the one person on the railroad tracks, or do you kill 5 strangers on the other? So like, you tell the train to go which way, whatever that's called.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what it is. I think The Good Place had that same kind of question. That would come up a lot in The Good Place. And so it's good where it does make you think about a lot of like ethical stuff and life and what's important to you. And so I'll give it a later. And plus, right now, there's really nothing else out until Ant-Man. So I mean, really, this is the only thing in theaters. Unless you're gonna go see Avatar 8 weeks later. A dethroned Avatar. And then next week there is nothing out in theaters. So
it's the calm before the storm because it's Super Bowl week. Yeah. Who wants to come out during Super Bowl week?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
But I'll give it a later. It was good enough. But it was really, for me, really close from being a really, really good movie. But still later. What about you?
All right, so first thing we'll say, my wife thought this was the dumbest thing she ever saw in her life. She lived. If Ashley came down here right now, the magical hand came out and gave me some food, she'd be like, never. Don't ever watch this. This is totally stupid. I actually liked the movie. I mean, I like the premise. I like where they're going. I understood why they did what they did. I wish they would have waited so long. There was no reason for Batista to die. They all believed at that point that this was actually happening. So there was no reason for him to die. Like, he didn't have to die unless, that was the point, that the 4 horsemen had to die. But I didn't think that was the point that they will only sacrifice if you don't believe. They both believed, so that's why I didn't think I think that was a waste. But overall, I thought this was a good movie. It was a good M. Night Shyamalan movie, and that takes a lot for me because I hate him. I hate his movies. I really don't like it. But I felt like this was it was smart. It had some heart to it. I love the character, the characters. I love the family feel. I understood the concept. I think I would rather Leonard not die. And of the four horsemen, death is the one that lives because the world is no longer dead. Like something like that, something to that kind of concept. But after all saying all that, I'm still going to give it later because I just don't think you need to drop everything and go watch this thing. It was a fine movie. M. Night Shyamalan has made a fine movie, and congratulations, it didn't suck. That's how I feel. Like. Congratulations, it didn't suck. And I walked out of the movie theater saying, that was okay.
Yeah.
But later for me.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it didn't suck. I think a lot of people that want to watch it. I know Brandon didn't watch it. We told him like, honestly, this is definitely wait till it comes out in streaming. 100%. I mean, if you want to go in an empty week, like that next weekend, the Super Bowl weekend where there's no movies out. Okay, if you want to spend the money, but I would wait until it's streaming, man.
It's not terrible, but it wasn't terrible. That's what I say.
Yeah.
It's
Universal. Universal is not Peacock. What's the other one? Paramount.
It's not Paramount. Might be. Is Universal Paramount? I don't think it is.
Might be, but it's gonna come out to one of those streaming services. And I would wait.
It wasn't bad though. I think we're gonna talk about the tomato meter. I think everything's gonna be like it was. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're gonna get. So, what do you have for the tomato meter?
Yeah, and you're not wrong. Yeah. So for the critics gave it a 68%. Right. And right. I think we're
about 70.
We're both right there.
That's what I thought they would be.
Yeah, a little bit higher. The audience gave it a 64%. So pretty close. They're right there. Like you said, it didn't suck.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's kind of close to sucking. But for me, I think it was closer to being good. Like really, really good. If it would have landed the ending.
I don't know what you could have done. See, and that's why I don't know what you could have done to land the ending for me. But everything was good all the way to the end, and I just didn't know where you're gonna go. And I think M. Night Shyamalan got to the end, and he was like, "I don't know where to go either."
Yeah. Like I would have made her an angel. I would have made her, like a god or goddess or something. Like like I don't know, man. Or she's the second coming of Jesus. I don't know, like something that like she's important. So it's like. I don't know, man.
But then you breaking up with her family and causing her trauma.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
And this is why M. Night Shyamalan should just come up with ideas and let someone else who is a great ending director finish it. Right there. That's why.
Yeah. But like you said, you hate M. Night. I hate M. Night. I like his movies for the most part. But the endings never end. The happening.
People just like just jump off buildings. That was done. That Avatar and The Village. I hated The Village so much. It made me so angry.
Like the whole thing.
Yes, because I was like, this is stupid.
Really?
The whole time they're sitting in the middle of the woods, I was like, this is so stupid. I could tell this is not set in the past. This is not set in the past. I know what's going on. This is stupid. And when I saw the car go by, I was like,
he called it.
Like, this is stupid. I'm so mad at him. And I think that's literally my reaction. So that's me and M. Night Shyamalan just now on good terms. We started off on real good terms. I thought, he made some four 4 of his first 5 movies I really loved, and then after that I hated everything else he did. Stop touching stuff.
Yeah, like you were good, then you ruined it. Yeah, he's done some really good stuff though. I'll give him that. Like some really really good stuff. The Sixth Sense is one of the best movies.
It's a top 20 movie of all time. All time.
Yeah. Well, here let me look at. Oh shit! I want to do that. Look at what he did. I hate when IMDb sucks when you're trying to look for information.
So
let's see.
I hate Lady in the Water.
Director.
Everyone loved Lady in the Water. I didn't like that.
It was okay.
I really didn't like it.
Yeah. Old. He did Old. Again, bad ending. I didn't care for the ending. But it was overall, yeah. Glass sucked, but Split and Unbreakable were great. Yeah,
but
so I don't know how
it's like
do that.
Balances it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He did After Earth.
Yeah, I remember he made After Earth.
Like you said, The Happening, The Village, Signs, Unbreakable, Sixth Sense. Oh, he did Wide Awake. That's right. That was a pretty good one. Praying with Anger. I never seen that one. So
yeah, but no, Lady in the Water is terrible. The Happening is terrible. The Last Airbender is terrible. Devil was terrible. After Earth was terrible. The Visit I didn't like. Split I thought it was good. I didn't hate Glass either. Old I thought was so stupid. It was pissing me off. But yeah. So I mean, he has some good things. He has some bad things. But this is just who he is. That's who M. Night Shyamalan is. But every one of these movies that we just talked about are great premises. He is a great premise writer. He can come up with things that you like. That is so genius. He just doesn't know how to stick the landing.
So I don't know. It sucks, but I don't know. I don't know. And I had low expectations and high hopes, but it is.
I had no expectations and no hopes, and I went in. I was like, okay, okay,
yeah. So, but I think that's it for this one. Unless you got any last minute.
No, words. No more words from me.
Yeah, that's it. But all right, so we thought it was gonna be a short one. We were wrong. But leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Did you like this movie? Was Knock at the Cabin good? Was there something that we're missing? Was there an Easter egg or something they said? Maybe you saw something completely different than what we saw. Just let us know what you thought about it down in the comments. We love chit chatting with a lot of people with all the different kind of views on stuff. So make sure you leave a comment, hit that like button so you let us know we're doing a good job, and you let YouTube know we're doing a good job. So the algorithm kind of helps us out to get to other people. But yeah, that is it. So make sure you check us out. February, we're gonna have a bunch of different stuff coming out in February. We got a bunch of Black excellence in cinema content coming out, some Oscar reviews coming out. So February is definitely a Spoiler King month, for sure. But yeah, man. But I think that is it for this one from us. Thank you for watching, and we will check you out in the next video. Later.
Thanks, guys.